Hello everybody, welcome to the NPTEL SWAN course on Customer Relationship Management. This is Dr. Shagatu Chatterjee from Vigisom IIT Kharagpur who is taking this course for you. We are in week 7 and in this week in the first few videos we will discuss about eCRM, which is electronic CRM, the components and strategies. So, when we talk about CRM, CRM is a strategy which can be applied both in the online world and in the offline world. I am trying to say that customer relationship management can be taken care of in an offline environment as well. But with the advent of internet and internet being available in everybody's mobile phones and at every corner of the country, if not the world, the I would say the adoption of electronic CRM, or I will say internet based CRM, has grown up. Why did it grown up? It has grown up because people now actually are spending more amount of time in their internet world. They are spending, they are surfing something, they are doing something in the internet, they are watching videos, watching movies, they are spending lots of times in the internet. And if people are spending lots of time in the internet, then connecting micro level, connecting one single individual in the internet becomes very easy, because then you can probably do a micro segmentation, you can probably focus on one single person and see that what are the problems that this person is facing, what are the various kinds of facilities or services this particular person will be needing, and you can then give those kind of services and facilities to them. You can solve their problems at a personal level. You can give certain kind of I would say certain the loyalty programs or certain kind of benefits or certain kinds of service recovery aspects. All of these things can be done at a personal level. So, if this personal, very directed, very sniper based, means there is a AK-47 and there is a sniper. AK-47 sprays your bullets. So, whatever you do, whatever when you pull the gun of AK-47, it will spray the bullet, and if there is certain probability, if you actually sprayed a lot of bullet, there is a certain probability that it will hit the target. On the other hand, sniper will not spray the bullet. Sniper is very targeted, but it will obviously hit the target if you can put it in the correct line. So, and it will definitely kill the target. So, similarly here also the classical mass kind of marketing strategies are basically AK-47. It is a spraying bullet strategy. There is higher chance, if you spray a lot of bullets, if you do lots of mass marketing, there is higher chance that people whom you want to target, people whom you want to actually communicate with will be reached. But there is also lots of wastage, like in AK-47 does. If you spray, the lots of bullets gets wasted. But if you get the provision to stand still and put a sniper and then hit somebody, then you will be, but that will require a place where you can hide, that will require a place where you can put your sniper, because it is very heavy, much heavier than this thing. It needs a little bit of stability and etc. So, if that kind of situation can be created here also in the internet world, where internet gives you the provision to target a person individual level, then you would probably want to do that. Then the wastages will be much lower and you can spend all those money which is getting wasted in the mass marketing kind of a situation in a very targeted way. So, that is why this internet based CRM, eCRM came up to be more prominent in the real world situation. So, when we talk about CRM or eCRM as a strategy, so there is two interfaces. The customers comes at the top. The picture is taken from the book that has been referred. So, that is why the picture is a little bit I would say hazy, but still you can understand that the customers is in the top and customer is connected with the operational CRM and the collaborative CRM. And in both of these things, in the operational CRM and collaborative CRM, the firm comes up. What is operational CRM? Operational CRM is the basic CRM that is provided to you, like customer service, like probably certain kind of loyalty programs, loyalty points, repurchase points, certain kind of discounts, benefits. These are all operational. And on the other hand, there are certain part which is collaborative. We talked about co-creation for it as a long period of time, and in co-creation you bring the customers from that side of the table to this side of the table, and then ask him that why don't you create something with me. I have certain expertise, you have certain ideas, you know yourself better. Why don't we together create something which will be beneficial for you? So, that is the collaborative CRM. So, operational CRM and collaborative CRM both comes in the company side. Basically, you bring the customer in the company side and then do collaborative CRM, but both are basically company controlled aspect. And in the back end of this is there the major strength is your analytical CRM. What is analytical CRM? So, it is application of all kinds of analytics tool, technology tools and etc., which will back up, which will give support to your operational CRM and collaborative CRM. Let me give an example of this thing. So, let us say I am a retail store, I am Big Bazaar, and Big Bazaar has customers. Big Bazaar has customers, and Big Bazaar, what kind of services Big Bazaar gives to the customers? It gives the loyalty points. It also gives the customer the, let us say, certain kinds of very targeted ads, or it gives you the early arrival information. It also gives you certain services, very personalized services. So, this is something that a Big Bazaar can give it to you. Now, it can also give you certain kind of, these are all operational CRM. It can also give you certain kind of collaborative CRM. So, in the collaborative CRM, it can give you that why don't you come together and you do your own packing. So, if you remember in the grocery store of Big Bazaar, or in many other big supermarkets, you can go up, you can check the quality of the products. Sometimes they ask you that okay, there are 4 types of dals. So, there is tur dal, there is this dal, that dal, and it is your choice how will you mix. I will not poke my nose there. There is a packet, you can put them, mix them up and then measure them, measure the weight, and based on the weight I will give you the price. So, there are 4 types of dals are given. There are let us say in a naturals ice cream shop, you can tell, you can go, or Baskin Robbins ice cream shop, you can go and tell that okay, give me this one, that one and that one, these 3 flavors you put it in one scoop and then give it to me. So, that is part of thing is collaborative CRM, where you are using collaborations. It can be also the other way, where the customers is helping other customers. Like the forums, online forums that are there, where one customer helps another customer. So, all of these things can be adopted. So, for example, co-creation, co-consumption, etc., etc., this kind of facilities can be created. Now, to ensure these co-creation facilities and to ensure these operational facilities, the analytical CRM is needed, and analytical CRM will require data analytics skills, huge cloud or huge backend storage. Storage means I am trying to say that it's a data storage. You can have huge amount of data storage, you can have data analytics people, data analytics infrastructure, you can have technology infrastructure, you have to have a very strong ERP. So, all of these things, ERP means enterprise resource planning software basically, or a system. So, you have to have all of these things, and all of these things together create your eCRM, which is internet based CRM. So, operational, collaborative and analytical, these 3 together, which comes in the customer space, company space, and in the customer space there is a customer, and the firm is basically handling all of these things. Now, when I am talking about data analytics, I talked about analytical skill set. You need an analytical CRM, and one of the major part of that CRM is probably one of the major component is the data warehouse. So, what is exactly a data warehouse? Data warehouse is a place where you can keep lots of data. For example, if I ask you that have you go to your kitchen. So, when you cook something, when you cook some food, that food is your to cook certain food, you have to first get the ingredients of the food. So, what do? You generally, let us say you want to make certain biryani, let us say. So, you want garam masala, you want rice, you want certain, if you it is a non-veg, then let us say chicken, you need certain dahi, curd, I mean to say, and you need certain other products. So, let us say some salt, some a little bit of sugar probably, and this and that, water, blah blah blah. And you will also need a utensil, you will also need a pressure cooker probably, or certain utensil to make the dum, and then you need a stove. So, all of these things are required. So, what you do, you go to the market and get the ingredients. Now, for the salt, let us say salt or the rice or let us say the garam masala that you will buy, you will not buy for only that day's preparation, you generally buy in a little bit more. Generally, salt will be required 1 pinch or 1 spoon, let us say, but you will not go and get a one spoonful of salt, you will get at least 1 kg salt, 1 packet of salt. So, what will you do with the rest of the salt or rest of the materials which was not used in today's cooking? You will store them. You will store them in jars, and then when there are lots of jars, so that those jars does not get haphazard, you put them in a cupboard. This cupboard is a warehouse. So, when I use data analytics, my raw ingredient, data analytics is cooking with data, and the raw ingredient is the data, the raw data. Now, the raw data is obtained at a very ample amount of in a huge amount and in an unprocessed amount. So, you have to put it somewhere. So, you put the raw data in a jar, that jar is called databases. Now, once there are lots of such databases, you have to put those jars also in a cupboard, that cupboard is called a data warehouse. So, similarly, the first thing that you need is a data warehouse, where lots of data comes from external sources. You generally get data and get stored them in external sources, and then what do? You generally from this data warehouse, when you have lots of raw data, you have or let us say food materials. Sometimes for cooking purpose, what you have to do is we have to do pre-processing of the food. Let us say lots of people will come and your mom is cooking. So, she starts the cooking 1 day earlier, and sometimes she makes a little bit of food and then keep it aside. So, that at the right moment, at the right time, she will just fry it and cook it quickly and give it to you. So, that pre-processed food has also it has to be also kept somewhere, and that is also kept in some jar, either in fridge or in a cupboard, and that is also. So, if it is let us say achar, pickle, I mean to say, then it will be kept in a cupboard, but if it is let us say certain material which will get bad if it is not stored in a cold place, then it is placed in a fridge. So, both of these things are data warehouse you can think about. Now, to pre-process, what do you have to do? You have to open the data warehouse, open the database which is the jar, and then bring out the raw food, process it a little bit and put it in another jar. So, this process is called extract, which is opening the jars, opening the cupboard, opening the jar, taking out the raw data, that is raw food, that is called extract. Then transform, then process a little bit and again load it back, so that you can use it further. So, this process called ETL, extract, transform and load, basically ETL, that is one procedure that we try to apply. Then with this process, we can either with this kind of a pre-processed food, either we can directly bring them out and serve them, which is analysis query and reporting tools, which directly bring out the raw data or a little bit of preprocessed data and serve them, or we can further cook them, which the data mining tools does. So, which brings out this food and then you cook it. So, when you cook the raw or pre-processed food and then you serve to this to the audience, in this case the users, that is called data mining tool. And when you just bring out the raw data and show the current condition, what is the current condition, that is used by analysis, query and reporting tools. Basically all the BI tools like Tableau, ClickView does this, Tableau, ClickView, Power BI, this kind of guys will do this. And data mining tools can be probably, let us say if I am talking about language, it can be R or Python, it can also be let us say IBM Watson or some other tools, I do not know, SAS, SPSS, something like that. You can do that. And then there are monitoring tools and administration tools which takes care of the health of the data warehouse. So, let us say every day your mom cleans it or checks that whether any dust is there, whether the data warehouse, the whole cupboard is working properly or not. So, that is the monitoring and administration tools work. And then there is a OLAP server, which is when lots of data warehouses are there, you need a server to keep that, which is somebody else's. So, your storeroom, there can be a cupboard in your kitchen and there can be a separate storeroom. So, that separate storeroom is called server. So, this is a typical data warehouse architecture that I can show you here, and this kind of an architecture, you do not have to be a data scientist or data analyst or anybody who is technical person to understand this. This is a very basic understanding that think about your kitchen, whatever is your kitchen, exactly that thing is represented here, but this is must for this particular facility, is absolutely must for a for an internet based CRM system. You have to have a strong back end data system which can give you data, which can give you required data at the right moment at the right time, and for that sometimes you have to pre-process the data and keep it in and store it somewhere. So, that is the second aspect. So, one major aspect of analytical CRM. What is the importance of this data warehouse in CRM? It can integrate information from multiple channels. So, you can buy food from the market, you can put the groceries, you can put the vegetables, you can bring in the different kinds of the probably products, and then you can put them all of them in the cupboard. So, you can get the data from multiple sources, process them and create a database and put it in the data warehouse. So, integrate information from multiple channel is possible. Then there is this clickstream data. Clickstream data means basically in a e-commerce setup, e-commerce means electronic commerce, when you are doing internet based purchases, or it can be any website setup. You might want to know that from which page to which page to which page my customers have went. Why that is important? Sometimes there is an optimal pathway. We say in a customer context, in a B2C context, that people have a purchase decision making path. First they will do a need recognition, then they will do information search, then they will do evaluation of alternatives, then they will actually purchase something, and then there will be post purchase behavior. All these 5 steps are, if you can track a particular person's behavior by his cookies, by something else, then you will know that this particular traffic can be tracked over time. Let us say you log in Amazon, okay, and I know that okay, whatever this thing is coming up, the your Amazon account is already logged in, so I can track your purchase patterns. So, in the app or in the internet, you first go to page 1, then you go to page 3, then you go to page 7, page 8, page 5, page 6 and then search. So, if I know that most often times you chose 1, 6, 7, 10, these 4 pages, and then you have mode purchase, then all my interest will be to push you towards those paths. That can be one strategy. I am not saying that is the only strategy that you can apply. Now, if I have your clickstream data, if I know that which page and then which type of page, if not exactly the page number or page exact page, but at least the page type. For example, let us say if you go first to the product page, then competing product page, then the review page, then this page, that page, and then you buy. If I know this path, by chance, let us say by chance in the next session when you are actually logged in and you are checking something, for a particular product you went to product page and then its competitors page, and then you went to some recommendation page instead of coming to the review page. I might push the review or pop up the review or do something in the website so that I can bring in back you towards this path. So, these kind of facilities can be created when you can track the clickstream data, and that is important. Clickstream data is huge amount of data. Your every step in the website is being tracked, and when you track every step for one 30 minutes session, or forget about 30 minutes, one 5-10 minutes session in Amazon, that you will search this page, that page. In 5-10 minutes, you probably in Amazon you probably go through around 50 pages, and in those 50 pages, when you came in, when you went back, in what part of the page you waited, you read a lot, how quickly you scroll down, what is the bounce rate, what is the arrival rate, everything will be tracked, and that creates a huge amount of data. And if you can create that kind of data for every customer, you need huge data spaces, and you have to store that data for some time so that it becomes usable. So, that required a data warehouse. Unless you have a data warehouse, unless you have a huge warehouse where you can put all this data, you will not be able to take care of this kind of advantages. So, you need huge data storage. You can also do campaign management. Let us say you are running very targeted campaign, as I was telling. Sniper, if you want to do a sniper, if you want to kill, now you understand that you are not killing one single person who is using a sniper, you are killing thousands or millions of people. So, by killing I am saying targeting. So, let us say every person will have a different marketing campaign that you are trying to target with. So, that also requires lots of data crunching at a very personal level, and that requires huge amount of data warehouse. And then real time personalization. Now, all of these things that I told, just the one that you can collect data from multiple channels, you can target a person at a personal level, or you can collect data at every step whatever he is doing. All of these things is required to create, sometimes to create information at a then and there type, means it has to be done in a real time basis. Now, let us say you want to give me a recommendation of a food. Okay. I am in Swiggy, I am scrolling down and you want to give me some recommendations. Now, if you want to give me some recommendation, you have to give me recommendation at that moment when I am actually in the session. If I give certain order, or if I move from Swiggy to Zomato and then give some order from Zomato, the Swiggy is losing. So, if you want to track me, you have to track me, you probably have 2 minutes, 3 minutes time, sometimes not even that. In Amazon, it takes, you have to come up with the recommendations, as I was telling. Let us say in the product, when we see the product, there are recommendations comes in the bottom or in the right side. This recommendation has to be launched in milliseconds, because this particular website will launch in 1 second, 2 seconds. In certain other countries where the internet speed is much higher, less than a second. So, you have to come up with recommendations at a real time basis, and to have that real time basis information, lots of data crunching has to be done in a pre-processed way. You cannot do at that time, and you have to save those data. So, that is why you need a data warehouse. So, there are lots of applications of data warehouse. I can spend probably another 10 minutes on that, but I will stop here. Then comes the data mining. As I was telling, that data warehouse has multiple parts. One is the second part is called data mining. What is data mining? Data mining is the technique used to carry out knowledge discovery. So, you have to create information. Data mining turns data into information and then to knowledge. So, you have raw data which is very unstructured, you have no idea to process them. You use data warehousing procedures like ETL and pre-processing and etc., and make certain information out of it, and then you mine those information to create knowledge. So, that is the basic process of data mining. So, first from the raw data you, so it is like, as I was again and again talking about this pre-processing and etc., the cooking of the data part. Let us assume that you have been given certain bottle gourd. Now, bottle gourd, or let us say potato, raw potato, or let us say raw onion, they are food, but you cannot eat them like this. You have to peel the skin, and you have to chop them. Onion you can eat probably without cooking, but potato you have to boil it or do something. Bottle gourd you have to boil it or do something, do some kind of preparation has to be done. So, that part, that peeling and etc., when you peel and make it ready for the cooking part, that from the raw food it became pre-processed food. So, from data it became information. Now, I can do something with this food. Then you cook the food, and when you cook the food it becomes actually eatable something. So, when you cook that information it becomes actually implementable certain kind of knowledge which you can consume. Information you cannot consume, information is just there. When that information can be transferred to be a knowledge, you can consume that knowledge, you can use that knowledge. So, that is the part, that is the job of data mining. There are, in the knowledge discovery in databases process, there are various steps. From the data you have to do selection. It is like from lots of raw food that you have in your house, you have to select certain food with which you will do biryani. For biryani you will not bring out brinjal probably, you will not bring out certain, let us say certain other vegetables, let us say beetroot, or let us say carrot, probably you will not give it in a biryani, you will select certain data. So, that the first step is selection. So, to target the data. With that targeted data, with that materials that you need to make biryani, you will pre-process. So, that pre-process will create a pre-processed data, and sometimes you transform it a little bit to create transform data. Pre-processed data is like, let us say the chilies. You have to break the head of the chilies, you have to peel the potato, you have to remove the skin of onion, that is pre-processing. Further pre-processing means the major shape of the product remains same. You have not transformed the whole nature of the product, but you have made a little bit of change in the data set. Now, you change the product. For example, let us say the garam masala, if you had certain garam masala which is full, you break them, you actually break them and make a dust out of it. So, that is called transformation, you transform the product. Or probably let us say before you create the biryani, in West Bengal we generally use use potato in biryani. So, what we will do is we will break and probably fry the potato a little bit, we will make it half and half fry it. Or for biryani we will require rice, semi cooked rice to make the dum. So, you will make the semi cooked rice. So, these are the part of transformation. Then you will do data mining, where you will put all the materials and then cook the data, as I was telling till now, and that from that cooking the data you will basically bring out certain kind of patterns out of it. And then you interpret and evaluate, and that will create information. So different people use this term, information term is basically being used at a different way. I would say this is knowledge, not information, this is probably knowledge. So, that is the 4 or 5 steps that you use in the knowledge discovery process. I told that data mining is used in knowledge discovery process. This is exactly what knowledge discovery means. Now, what exactly is data mining? What are the various data mining tools that we have? What I can do to do data mining? I will be discussing it in a detail in the next video, but only in the broader way. This particular understanding of this particular thing will require, let us say, an introduction to business analytics kind of a course, and in a marketing context it will be heavily beneficial to you if you, after doing introduction to business analytics course, you do another course called marketing analytics, which applies all of these things in the knowledge discovery process of marketing context. So, that might probably be helpful for you people. Thank you very much for being with me in this video. See you in the next video.